Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Rad and this is going to be the full moon into Libra happening tomorrow, 31st of March 2018. First, I want to take a few moments, guys. I want to apologize for the failure of the stream that I did last night, and my PC simply froze while I was running through Aries. So we're going to make the Aries again, and I haven't screwed up the setup of the deck for Aries. So without further ado, this is going to be a 5-card spread again. The first 3 cards are going to represent the material aspect of the lunar cycle. The last 2 cards are going to represent the spiritual aspect of the lunar cycle. So the first card for Aries was, and the first card that's represented the lunar cycle itself, that was the 6 of Wands. Then the next card showed the challenges Aries needs to overcome. That was the 2 of Swords. Then we had the Fool card as an intention Aries should have during that lunar cycle. The fourth card was the lesson Aries needs to learn during the lunar cycle. That was the Knight of Swords. And the last one was 3 of Cups, showing up the energies that are going to help Aries. So let me take like that position. All right, so let's leave these couple of cards aside right now and let's take a closer look to these 3. So the lunar cycle itself for Aries is going to be very potent, as I said, because we do have the 6 of Wands as a main card here. This is a card of recognition, a card of experiencing peaks of positive waves from one's activities and one's affairs. So you can expect that your projects are going to be successful and lucrative as well. That could be a a sign that you can get a promotion, a sign that you can get a raise in your job, as well as that people will simply spot you, your co-workers and potential suitors are going to spot you as a very potent person, in a sense that you can simply do things, you can make things happen. That's why some responsibilities may come in your way, Aries. Let's say that you are working in a firm and your supervisor will approach you with a project of a great deal of responsibility, but this is because you have reached a certain milestone and you have accomplish a certain criteria in order to receive that kind of a responsibility on your shoulder. Now, what you should not do during this lunar cycle is to avoid taking decisions, okay, or avoid taking initiation, if I may say it that way, because yes, you have did a great job recently, that is without a question. However, it is just a partial success what we do have here. To reach the ultimate or the permanent success upon one project, upon one agenda, or upon one relationship, in case you are getting into a relationship, you need to continue on working. And how you can work, how you can advance forward is by taking on a responsibility and initiating a certain approach and performance into those things. So instead of awaiting so the obvious choice, so the choice you have to do become obvious, in other words, be passive, you should be extremely active, guys. And this is shown here in the intentional cards. In the intention cards, the Fool, because the Fool usually does not orientate itself on the pitfalls along the way, but rather takes the leaps of faith. So it is how you need to do it, taking risks. Because when we do have a Fool as an intention, it does says that the risk is not going to be that costly if it doesn't happen at all. As a matter of fact, the Fool card does shows that virtually anything you you kind of have in your mind as in an idea could happen during this lunar cycle. It is just the whole idea needs to be the one that drives you to move on forward, instead of the of the idea of being you know, lucrative, and of the idea of being successful. The success and the money are going to come on their own. Instead of that, guys, you need to be accountable toward the greater good of what you're going to do as a greater good to the world and to those who are around you and who are with you in general. So the lesson you need to learn here during this lunar cycle, that will be the Knight of Swords. A Knight of Swords could come in a couple of versions of interpretation. Now, the one is that you need to stand up for one's right, not just your rights, but also the rights of others. So you have to be a protector of those who cannot actually defend themselves, either by words or by actions in general. So that speaks for a savior, or for a person that you need to learn to be a person who I cannot really express it. We do have a certain word for that state in my language, in my native language, but here in English is more like a protector, like Robin Hood, for example, in medieval England. Okay, I'm not taking that you need to take from the rich and give to the poor, but a sympathy toward those, and as well, if you can do something about improving the circumstances of those around you which are helpless against different people and different situations, if you can do that, it will pay off a big time, and it will simply make you feel like a better person. And as well, this card also shows that you guys need to be more decisive when it comes to snap decisions. This is a lesson that you're going to learn. If you don't catch a certain opportunity coming in your way straight away, it just goes with the flow, flies by, and it basically tells you goodbye. So the last card for you, Aries, that will be the energies you need, which are going to support you, and this is the Tree of Cups. So also, apart from being more representative than usual, also the energies are pointing, guys, that you will be surrounded by a lot of people. Why? Because through cooperation and through common through teamwork, you are going to expand your vision, and you will be able to give expression and channel your emotions. That speaks a very shrill sound for one's relationship life, in a sense that if you're feeling lonely, okay, you don't have to be, but you can surround yourself with friends or relatives, etc., through which your emotions of loneliness will be expressed and it won't bother you anymore. Same goes into your career. If you are feeling like you are tackling on your own with most difficult things in the company that you're working at, you can surround yourself with co-workers ready to help. All right, so that was for Aries. Now we are going to Taurus. All right, so Taurus is the first card which marks the lunar cycle itself, guys. That will be the Ten of Swords. Then the second card showing up the challenges one needs to overcome. That will be the Emperor, and it will be quite intense lunar cycle for you, Tauruses. Then the third one, it is going up with the intentions one needs to have during that lunar cycle. This is the Knight of Wands. Then we do have the lesson one needs to overcome and one needs to learn, excuse me, that will be the Ten of Wands. And the last one, it is the energies that will support one through the lunar cycle, this is the King of Pentacles, and this couldn't be more perfect. I mean, the last card couldn't be more perfect. As a matter of fact, this is the only card probably in the 78 that weakens in that particular follow-up here the Ten of Swords. Okay, so I was afraid at the start when I start pulling the cards, especially those three, they didn't show anything good. But now, because we do have the King of Pentacles as an energy, it does shows that this is not about your current position, but it is about the new enterprises you may want to start during this particular lunar cycle. And it's pretty straightforward message, guys. It does shows that nothing long-term can be started during this lunar cycle. As a matter of fact, this is because you are not prepared, or you are not taking under consideration every single minor detail, so you can take on a control upon the situation itself and traverse it into something long-lasting, either a project or a relationship. That's why during this lunar cycle, Taurus, it will be most important and most beneficial for you guys just to focus on the small things in life and enjoy the life in a sense of you know, of the small aims, such as for example, having a good time with friends, having a watching a TV every evening, etc., etc. Those ordinary things, you know, which are making people to relax and to relieve themselves from a daily tension that one career is building up or one relationship is building up. Why this is that way, guys? Now we do have the Ten of the Ten of Swords, and in that particular case, this shows exhaustion of one situation, when one situation starts to decay, okay? And while it starts decaying, this could be something quite irrelevant in your life, but for now, it's kind of poisoning your environment from with every single aspect. And only in what you need to do here is just wait it out, because otherwise, as soon as you start something new and you want to make it something long lasting, like a relationship, for example, or like a new job, that decaying thing is going to poison the newness as well. So that could be, the decaying thing could be a relationship in between you and your friend. It could be an old job that still you haven't cut ties with. It could be your divorce as well. So while you are getting divorced, it won't be okay while this lunar cycle is in place to get engaged again, for example, or be with someone with a plans for a long-term relationship. It will be these cards are showing that an ending of an era, it is coming very soon. It's not going to happen during this lunar cycle, or if it happens for you during this lunar cycle, it's going to be at the end of the lunar cycle. However, it will be very chaotic, you know, and you may kind of like experience upheaval in a certain areas of your life. You may also experience havoc, you know. However, if you, as I said, if you focus on more the immediate pleasures of life, then you will save yourself not just a lot of disappointment, guys, but also a lot of futile investments that you may do, either with money or either with time. The situation which is decaying ultimately will lead to a irrevocable decision that you're going to make, or irreversible action as well, because basically the tension will be built so high that no one could stand it anymore, and those kind of extreme measures needs to be taken in order for you to relieve yourself from either a surreptitious friend, unhealthy relationship with a suitor, a job which is basically decaying your career picture overall, etc., etc. So this is a ticking bomb waited to happen here. And the good thing is, guys, that even if it blows up, it's not going to blast the things, or kind of like your positions which you have consolidated. This is granted here by the King of Pentacles. So the energies, if your marriage, for example, is rock solid, whatever is decaying and is gonna blow away is not going to affect your marriage. Same goes for your career. So ask yourself which areas in your life are rock solid, stable, and it is exactly in those areas where you can find shelter, where you can find salvation. And then the lesson that you need to learn here is the Ten of Wands, and the only way you can interpret that card in these follow-ups is that you have taken too many things upon yourself. Okay, as a matter of fact, so many, which instead of you dictating the rules of your situations, you know, and taking control over your situations and your affairs have taken control over you. And this needs to change, and this is how it's changing, guys, with the irrevocable decisions and with irreversible actions that you are about to make at the end of this lunar cycle. So that was for Taurus. Now let me shuffle and we will go to Gemini. All right, so Gemini, the first card showing up the cycle itself is going to be the Six of Pentacles. The second card, it is the challenges one needs to overcome. That will be the Eight of Cups. The third card, it is showing up the intentions one needs to have. That will be the Magician. The fourth card showing up the lesson one needs to learn. That will be the Knight of Pentacles. And the last one, it is showing up the energies that are going to support one's development. That will be the Seven of Swords. So let's leave the last two cards aside and let's take a look at the first three. So what is gonna happen for you, Geminis, during this lunar cycle is that you will be able to capitalize on foreign resources or on a foreign charity. So someone is going to be willing to share their good fortune with you, and fortunately for you, you can make something out happening with that particular good fortune. Usually the Six of Pentacles speaks for a lucrative share. So in other words, you will receive money, but I don't often see that card that way, especially having those these couple of cards next to it. I think that someone will invest time and efforts in you, in your business, in your development in general, you know, in your studies as well, if you're studying something, etc., etc. And why we do have the Eight of Cups here as a challenge card? Well, it's peculiar, because the Eight of Cups usually comes where you are deeply unsatisfied by the flow of events. How can I place it? You expected one thing and certainly something else it is coming up, and you realize that actually you were floating in the clouds, and you couldn't see the exact formation that would have happened after, you know, that affair is executed. That being said, these cards may speak for revelations, and these cards may speak that actually you will be grounded, Geminis, and you will be able to give an accurate diagnosis of your particular positions right now, either into your career or either into your relationship. But what is the good thing here, guys, is that you will be most happy even not that happy, because you will be happy because you can make something out of it, but in the same time you will be disappointed because you have thought that you had more, okay, or you thought that you will be given more, because that could be contribution of that person or a part of society, you know, and you have expected them to push you even further, or kind of like drag you even further, carry you, excuse me, even further. But it is just so much they can do, you know, because if you can't help yourself, no one else can help you. So what your intentions needs to be here, guys, is whatever it is thrown your way as a good fortune of share, you know, as a if you want to say it that way, as a disturbance of the hierarchy, because that could also happen where you find yourself in a much higher position that you are usually are. Let's say that you are approached by your boss in the job, and your boss said, I want to test you being on a charge of a team, you know. So you may be placed on a much higher level of the society, of the ladder of the society, and in the hierarchy in general. So you need to make it work. And how you can make it work, guys, through a very definitive and decisive action. So hesitation is the last thing you want to show in front of the people, granting you that authority and believing in you, as well as you need to communicate. Always, when you have an idea, just share it, guys, because even if you don't know how it can be made right now, how it can be executed, there are for sure those who knows how. It is very important to exert your sovereignty, iron will, and to present yourself as someone who is ready to learn, as someone who simply is willing to try things and to find the right formula of how one project or one relationship can happen. And this is happening here. We do have the lesson with the Knights of Pentacles, and this lunar cycle, guys, for you is all about realizing what is substantial and essential in your life, what truly has a value, but not right now, not what you do have in your life as a business or as a relationship, but in the future, what truly you want to achieve in the future, and what you want to have as a possession. So that lunar cycle for you, Geminis, will be more like a reprioritizing your wishes and your desires, because you may thought that let's say a Porsche is going to be something you really want, you know, but at the end of this lunar cycle, you may decide, you know what, I don't like Porsche anymore. I want Lamborghini, or I want Ferrari, etc., etc. So it's kind of like realizing that some of your yearnings and wishes are kind of stupid, or not just stupid, but not a materially cost effective, and thus reprioritizing them with something similar, guys. And the last one, we do have the energies which are going to support you. That will be the Seven of Swords. A lot of things will fall into their places, kind of like a pieces of the puzzle that you couldn't find until now. And I mean, in general, you couldn't find those pieces. Not like you had the pieces, but you had no clue where to insert them. But those pieces were totally missing, you know. They will come around, and you will be able to kind of you know, fit them in. So I hope you really make, and this is true, the disturbance of the hierarchy again, you know, it's so you will be given a power here, Gemini, and it's very important that you are capable to execute that particular power. All right, so that was for Gemini. Now let me shuffle, and we can go to Leo. No, Leo, excuse me, that will be Cancer, guys. All right, so Cancers, the first card that shows up the lunar cycle itself, that will be the High Priestess. Then the The challenges one needs to overcome, that will be the King of Swords, and the intentions, that will be the Ten of Cups. So we have for you, Cancer, a internal struggle. And I will come to that a little bit later when we do pull the rest of the cards. So the fourth card is the lesson that one needs to learn during this lunar cycle. That will be the Eight of Pentacles, and then the last one is going to be the energies. That is the Strength card. Wow. Okay. So internal struggle in between your I know that it sounds superficial, but it's kind of like internal struggle in between the subconscious and the conscious. One may say it in between the intuition and the logic, but I don't like to say that the High Priestess is intuition. So a vast meaning of the High Priestess has a lot to do with that reading we do have here, because I want to explain you the High Priestess. So the High Priestess does represent this kind of knowledge that we have gathered through our experience and through our years of of performance, either into our private life or either into our career life as well, that we have stored but we never used, and this knowledge is stored in our subconscious. Okay, so the High Priestess shows that this lunar cycle will grant you a bridge in between your subconscious and your conscious, where you will be capable to make deductions without even having a clue how you have reached that kind of an answer. This is your inner wisdom talking. Okay, this is not your intuition. The intuition is tapping into the vibrations of the universe, while here you had the information needed. It's just you didn't knew that you have it. Okay, you had it somewhere in the past, you forgot about it with your conscious, but it does stay stored in your subconscious. And because your subconscious is going to be highly active during this cycle, guys, you will be able to make those deductions without even having the facts. Okay, so your inner voice will guide you. Very important to be said is that you cannot reach those kind of revelations by asking people around. Okay, the only way you can actually find your answers, let's say your question is, will my relationship will go on, for a long time? Well, the answer lies within you. You have the clues. It is just you are either ignorant for them, or you had them for quite a long time and you forgot about them, and now your subconscious is trying to speak with you guys with signs, with hunches as well. With some people also call it intuition, as I said, but it is kind of like feelings that you will have, and these feelings are ignited through those facts you have stored in your subconscious. And the struggle comes when it faces the conscious, the intuition, for what we can say here. So your mind, your conscious, is going to try to prove them wrong. Okay, all those hunches and all those emotions you do have for the situation. So let's say your partner in relationship does something and you feel that this is something wrong. It kind of smells rotten, but in the same time your conscious, your logic is telling you, no, it's fine. I mean, this person was always faithful to you. They never did anything wrong. Or it's kind of like your partner in relationship makes a statement in front of you and you kind of smells it wrong. You think that they are lying, or kind of like you have the feeling that they are lying, while your conscious is telling you, you know what, you are wrong because this and this and this. So it's kind of like the internal struggle. So what one needs to make here, that is the Ten of Cups. And you have to totally ignore both. Well, simply, guys, otherwise you will go insane. I would say with this particular card here is that you need to follow the water, or in other words, you need to follow those hunches, and the inner voice talking to you. But if you cling to the analyzing the struggle in between your conscious and your subconscious, Cancer, you will go insane, guys. You will have so much mental instability and emotional instability, so you cannot go with both of them. You have to go with either one of them. And here, going with your intuition is highly unrecommended. Okay, whenever you have a hunch or whatever, you think that something, kind of like you sense that something is wrong. You're not thinking, but sensing something is wrong, you just go with it. And the intentional wise, the Ten of Cups, it is showing up, guys, that you need to surround yourself with those things which makes you happy, in the sense that they are giving a life purpose to you. Okay, things that are making you look forward to something. Like, for example, if you're feeling miserable into your marriage, start spending more time with your children, because the children should be something to make you look forward to, you know. These kind of stuff is what I'm talking about. This particular period of time for you, Cancer, it will be very tough, in a sense that not tough in a sense that you will have some material struggles into your career as well, or in general in your relationship. The struggle will be within you, guys, and in order to overcome that struggle, in a sense that the struggle never happens, is exactly that. If you focus on those things which are making you look forward into something. And then we do have the lesson that you need to learn. That is the Eight of Pentacles. And the lesson is for you during this lunar cycle is that whenever you're trying to do something, it always goes through ups and downs. It has to be exactly the way it is supposed to be. And in order to do that, it has to go through fire and water. And going through fire and water causes a rumble, causes things to get, you know, I can't say destroyed really, but things to get in an awkward position. But in general, this card, it does shows, guys, that if you want to do something, if you want to reach something like a happiness, like being rich as well, like being in a good relationship, well, you have to put the toils in it. It cannot happen other way around. And probably this is why you have that inner struggle with your conscious and your subconscious. It is because the conscious tells you that the answer, it is quite obvious, but in the same time the subconscious tells you, you know what, you need to put the toils in it. It cannot happen like straight away. And the last but not least, we do have the Strength card as a energy card. And this card, it is showing up for you, Cancers, that you will persevere through patience. And it does look like that even though you have that battle internally, people will not acknowledge it, which is a good thing. So no one will see the distortion that is going on within you. So that is a very good regarding your career, because you will maintain your professionalism, you will maintain your cool, and you will not interfere the personal personal troubles with the work, and vice versa. You will not bring the problems from the work in your home. So you will stay quite balanced, for what I can say, with these energies. And in the same time, it does look like that you are prone to find the answers on your own. Going for asking people for advice, as I said, is going to be a grave mistake, because no one knows your answers, guys. You got to find them on your own, and that will happen on its own accord. But in order for you to keep yourself calm to reach that particular state, you have to start attending to those things which are making you making your life worthwhile, and it giving you something to look forward to. All right, so that was for Cancer. And now we are going to Leo. All right, so Leo, for you, we do have the Ace of Pentacles as a card of the lunar cycle. Then this is going to be the challenges one needs to overcome, the Page of Cups, Nine of Wands. It is the intentions that one needs to have. Then we do have the Empress as a lesson one needs to learn. And the last one is going to be the Four of Pentacles, which is the energies that lunar cycle is going to help you with. Okay, so these three cards are showing up a task coming in, a task that is going to change your plans a little bit, and just not a little bit, but in general, this is what is going to happen. That task, guys, is going to totally change the big picture for you. And what you're going to realize is that you, until now, you have been more prone to be clinged into the minor details instead of actually seeing what is going on around you. And that will cause a serious reconstruction of either your career or either your relationship as well. So this is a forceful changing that it is coming, and the thing which is offered to you as an either project or either a proposition, it could be your engagement, you know, it could be a proposition for making a relationship, etc., etc., or so you could be approached from a friend, family member. It doesn't matter. It will be personal for every single one of you. The point is that the Ace of Pentacles does shows an opportunity which you have proven worthy to possess. It is coming in. Okay, and that opportunity widely will open your eyes. It will show you, as I said, where the big picture lies. And not that you're not gonna like it, it is just you're going to realize that your preparation goes for nothing. So in other words, you're not prepared for it. That may cause a little bit of an emotional distortion here. Being frantic about what kind of decision you need to take, you know, what kind of actions you need to take as well. But the first thing you need to do here is to set your affair into order, because you do have a competition upon it. And these rival, these adversary, they the only thing that they have in their advantage is the surprise. So by this reading, the surprise is kind of broken off, so you can expect that someone is going to be in a competition with you, and you have to be quite aware whom that could be. Okay, usually these people marked with the nine of wands as a competition, they are very aggressive in a sense that they don't allow you to catch up your breath. They don't allow you to take control upon the situation. They're not very tenacious, and they prefer to act from distance, but as well, they do like to pull strings. That being said, this is why you need to place your affairs into order, so these people doesn't have a leverage against you. Okay, you need to know that the Ace of Pentacles as an opportunity will be only to the one who is worthy for it. And this is the way how you show to the universe that you are worthy for it, by being capable to maintain your stability and maintain your control upon your personal affairs. Because if you cannot maintain control upon your current affairs, how you can maintain the control upon that newness coming in? And this newness coming in will be a success into one business, harmony into one relationship, guys, stability, money increase. It's basically the Ace of Pentacles offers you wealth, Leos. Wealth is not only money, guys. It could be love, it could be, as I said, career, it could be money, it could be as well health. But in the same time, as I said, you do have a competition. So you may ask, well, if it is held, how this could be a competition? Well, very easy. I will give you a quick example of that. Let's say that if it is a health, there is a new treatment for something that you are sick of, you know, but that treatment is for a very close program. It cannot be implanted into everybody, but let's say there are 20 seats. So there you go. You have a competition, guys, and you have to acknowledge that. And then we do have the lesson that one needs to learn during this lunar cycle. That will be the Queen, that will be the Empress. So the childish play has to be over. You need to approach your affairs and your situations very seriously, very mature, if I may say it that way. And also you have to be very decisive when it needs to. Okay, so this is a ultimate test, guys, how far you're willing to go. Are you willing to go as far as it needs to? This is what the card says here. And you need to know that whatever you will reap, whatever you have sown during this lunar cycle. So I hope you don't slack, and as a matter of fact, you should not slack. And the Empress card usually says that you have to be more, how can I place it? How can I really say it? You have to be more strategic when it comes to a long-term goal. So I mean, you need to plan, but not only plan for how you're going to tackle with things, but as well plan if something goes wrong. Well, I have a philosophy. I don't say that you have to follow that philosophy, but when I start doing something, I am always prepared for the worst. Let's say that I try to be with someone, you know, a girl. I'm always prepared for that she says no, okay? So it's kind of like I have that mindset, and I never end up disappointed because I am always prepared for the worst. This is why people are asking me how you can remain your cool when things are not happening, because I have been preparing for that. You know, I have that plan B. I have that mindset that the things are not going to happen. I mean, if they happen, great, but if they don't happen, whatever. All right, so the energies, Four of Pentacles, energy-wise, Four of Pentacles, guys, shows that things are gonna go pretty smooth for you. Whatever you plan is going to start happening exactly how you plan it. This is what we're talking about. Set your things in order and start planning, because this is the strongest period for what I can reckon here that you do have recently, where you can actually exert strategy, guys, into your things and make those complex and complicated domino effect plans that are gonna move on forward. This is your strength here as well. This card shows it is very productive regarding being in a competition, because it does shows that your defense is gonna be left unbroken. In other words, whoever tries to hurt you in a certain way, either verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally, etc., etc., they will not succeed at all. All right, so that being said, going to Libra now. No, Libra, Virgo, excuse me. Wow, a bit distracted today, I guess. I do apologize about that, guys. All right, so Virgo, for the lunar cycle, we do have the Queen of Cups for you. Then it is the Five of Swords for challenges. That will be interesting. Then we do have the Page of Cups as a intentional-wise card. Then it is the Justice card as a lesson. And the last one is the Page of Pentacles as energies. So let me leave those couple of cards here, and I will need a second here, guys. A very baffling reading, actually. Very baffling one. So first of all, these three cards here are showing a states of a personal standstill or a personal standpoint, should I say. And the Queen of Cups, it is showing up here, guys, showing that you will be very connected emotionally with everything that is happening around you, in a sense that you will feel the pain of your you will feel the pain of your friends, the pain of your family, obviously the pain of your partner in case you're finding yourself in relationship. But if it comes to career, when something doesn't work out, you will be truly a drama queen. This is not bad at all. You show that you do give a fuck that things are not happening, and you don't have my standpoint where I'm just whatever. Anyway, so these cards are showing one emotional contribution during this lunar cycle toward the affairs, not just what your personal affairs, but as well the affairs of others. We do have the Five of Swords here as a very dangerous card, because while it is good to empathize, you should know its limits. Okay, you should not go crazy on it, because that will be a wasting of emotional energy and a wasting of personal time as well, if you want to say it that way, and that may deprive you from seeing a very good signs that are foretelling change. We do have here with the Page of Cups. Intentional wise, guys, this card, it is only telling you look for the signs which are foretelling change. The change will not come in this lunar cycle. Probably it's not going to come in the next half a year, but right now it is starting to prepare itself. And if you are not aware of seeing these small minor things which are aligning around you, which are forming the bigger picture, if you don't try to reassess your position right now, because this is what it's all about, reassessing your position and being emotionally, way too emotionally connected at this very moment with the affairs, especially of others, that is not going to help you in any way, guys. So try to keep your emotions in check, Virgo, during this lunar cycle, because they will be over exaggerated, and know their limits. Because if you give the expression of your emotions fully, then you will do some things which afterwards you are going to regret. Let's give you an example. Let's say you have been approached by somebody that you know from a couple of weeks, and they start explaining you how terrible they are. They don't have anything to feed their children with, etc., etc. So in other words, they're asking you for money, and because you will have that emotional connection, you will be prone to, without further investigation, thorough investigation of the case, to give them as much money as they want, and you will regret that afterwards. So try to keep yourself in the frame of the common sense here, okay? Instead of trying to be the Mother Teresa of everybody, because it's not going to serve you any purpose. It's not going to give you any accolades, accoladations, if I may say it that way. You're not gonna be accoladed for it, and you may look foolish in the eyes of others. While it is good, as I said, to empathize and to show that you do have a heart, that should come only to those which are worthy for it. Very important here as well with these three cards, guys, is to follow the feelings of your heart, in a sense of feelings of yearning. So if you love somebody and they don't know it, it will be beneficial for you to say it, okay? If you hold a grudge towards somebody, you need to express it, but not express it physically, but express it emotionally. Like, tell them, okay? Tell them why you hold a grudge for them. Tell them how this could be fixed and repaired, because otherwise, as I said, it will cross a line where there is no going back afterwards. And then we do have the lesson that one needs to learn here. That is the Justice card, guys. And there is no perfect card in this kind of reading, and you have to be accountable. But foremost, you have to be accountable toward oneself. Okay, everybody goes with their faith. The example I gave you, it's a perfect example because everybody is responsible and goes with their faith. You need to know that you are not responsible for the poverty of your neighbor. You are not responsible for the failure of your coworker. You are not responsible for the decision of your husband or wife or your partner in relationship, and for that fact of your children as well. Okay, well, the infants, yeah, you are responsible for that. But let's say your children is a teenager and they really had that bad fight, they have initiated fight in school. You are not responsible for that. So, in other words, guys, keeping in check your emotional connections is seriously going to help you move through that lunar cycle, and as well it's going to prepare you for the change that it is coming for you, Virgos, in the next half a year. And then the last card, it is the Page of Pentacles, which is the energies which are going to help you moving through that particular lunar cycle. And here, guys, this card, it is showing up. How can I place it? These energies are going to place the seeds in you of a growing value of your personal status, and valuing yourself in general, and how well you stay in the middle of it, in the middle of the affairs that you are attending to. Page of Pentacles usually is the card where one is very devoted, but the more devotion you do have during this lunar cycle, the more you will realize that if this devotion is not about your affairs, it goes for nothing. So you will prioritize, or kind of like you will start orientating yourself toward your personal things instead of, as I said, being Mother Teresa of all. So that was for you, Virgo. This was the first part of the Taroscope, guys, for the lunar cycle, new full moon into Virgo, happening tomorrow on 31st. Stay tuned for the second, which is coming very, very soon, today, I can say. So that being said, see you around, guys. Until next time. Bye.